Hey everybody, welcome to This Ephemeral Life with your host Adam Byers. Yes, me, and I will and you. Hey everybody, my name is Adam. Welcome to This Ephemeral Life. Thank you for listening and watching wherever you are. This Ephemeral Life is the podcast where we talk about improv with some people that have been doing it for a while that may have something to say about it, or maybe not. If they don't, then we won't be talking for very long. We'll see. It's unseasonably warm outside. I hope it's not wherever you are. In just a moment, we're going to bring on my guests. I first wanted to mention this podcast is available on Instagram at @thisephem_life. At @thisephem_life, it's this without the Earl, ephemeral without the Earl on the end of it. There are also going to be a ton of other shows coming out on the Nest Podcast Network, the Roost Podcast Network, I should say. So keep an eye out for the rollout of that. In the meantime, I am extremely excited to talk to my next guest. He is a bit of a newcomer on the scene, and that won't be happening for very much longer, I can tell you that. Please welcome my friend, George Simon, to the show. Hello, George.
Hi, Adam. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on your show.
You're very welcome, and you can skip the pleasantries right now. Okay? All right, mister?
All right.
On this show, This Ephemeral Life, we talk about improv, and we will kind of get into that. But I first kind of wanted to get started with you, just to give everyone just like a little bit of context. George, we met maybe 2 months ago?
I think so, like end of May.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sometime at the beginning of summer, and we met at a competition show that they do here at the Nest Theater called Troika, which is a trio improv show where the trio is randomly selected to kind of come together. And I knew your name way before I met you, but because I think we live busy lives, I wasn't able to meet you until the night of our first performance. Do you remember that?
Yes. Like 10 minutes before I walked up and you guys were outside.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is real. It didn't feel real until it happened because I'd never done the competition before and never done anything like that before.
Did you sign up for Troika because it was going to be like a random thing, or did you have any motivation other than just like more opportunities to play?
I think it was a little peer pressure. Like everybody in the class, we were going to do it. And so a lot of us signed up. A lot of them made it on teams together, which is kind of weird. At least 2 of them did.
That's so interesting.
And then it's like, all right, I guess it's real. I don't know any of these people. We'll figure this out.
And we did. We did. Spoiler alert. We miraculously won the competition. I'm not going to sit here and say like I was not surprised.
No.
But I want to lock back into like that first night because I remember we were upstairs here at the Nest Theater. We were upstairs about to do something in the upstairs studio. And Troika is what we were going to do. We were going to do something. Mm-hmm. We were going to do our set. And you mentioned that first of all, complete sidetrack. How long have you been performing? When did you were you doing improv before you started taking classes at the Nest?
No, I started taking classes at the Nest last summer. I think probably around May or June of last year, and then finished up level 4 in January or February.
Let's back up even more though, because like even if you weren't doing improv before that, like I want to learn a lot more about you because I kind of want to like get into your brain because I'm gonna love bomb you, so just deal with it right now.
Okay.
You are naturally very funny.
Thank you.
And I thought that about you from the moment I met you. In fact, if I had met you when we were peers in level 1, I would have been very jealous of probably your natural just kind of ability to and someone's yes, for lack of a better term. Okay. Were you always that way?
I think I was. I always wanted to be funny.
Okay.
I think I think some people say we come from a funny family. My family is not funny, but we try to be funny quite a bit.
Okay.
There's the gene to try is there. Wow. And so I loved comedy as a kid. I loved podcast comedy. Like I think I started listening to like NPR podcasts when I was 12, and then that got into podcasting in general. It's a lot of stand-ups and people. And I would listen to comedy albums over and over again. You buy them on iTunes for $10, and it's like, well, I'm going to listen to this Jim Gaffigan album multiple times. I love Jim Gaffigan.
I have a Jim Gaffigan album that I used to listen to when I was working on my iPod back in the day.
Yes, it's on my iPod. I got to listen to Behind the Pale, or is it something pale?
Something like that.
Yes.
He talks about food.
Yes. It's like, oh, yeah, this is funny enough. You kind of figure out his rhythms. And, so I always loved comedy and always wanted to be funny. And I was funny in school.
Yeah.
Well, I went to a very big high school, so I was not class clown, but I got to the second round of being nominated for class
There
clown.
was a tournament for class clown?
I think there were multiple levels. Like you had to get enough signatures, and then it went to. Yes.
There were petitions for who's going to win class clown, like as if it was homecoming queen.
Yes, I think it can't be signatures, but there was. You had to get enough people to vote for you. At an unknown level, like there was not a ballot, and then there was a ballot, and you were on the ballot. So I think you did need to petition or something, just like you would get on homecoming court or prom court. It's the same.
I feel like in this scenario, you'd have to like have lobbyists working for you, like. Hey, I wanted to touch base with you about George Simon. Have you heard of this guy? You haven't? Oh, well, let me just give you some examples of his work. He is destined to be class clown. Like that sort of shit?
Actually, from whatever, so I was a band kid. I was band council president.
Band council president?
Yes, I was way into band. It was a great place to make friends.
Hell yeah, me too. I was a band kid too, so I totally understand.
Band kid for life. He never really leaves you. Like whatever that is, it's there.
Yep. I recognized it in you probably before we met because the only thing I knew about you was your Facebook profile. I think you were playing a trombone or trumpet.
Yes, and that was a picture that appeared in the local paper when I was a kid.
Because you were council president and they wanted to recognize you, and so there was a whole article about you.
Maybe slow news day, but I think we'll say my tremendous accomplishments as elected leader of the band people.
Amazing.
But yeah, people did petition. I remember them they did voting during a certain period, and then people in their classes were like rallying for people in their class to vote for me. It was very strange, but it was also really nice of them to do that. It's always weird. We're
going to get into that.
Yeah.
I mean, you touched up against something that I want to really talk to you about because I have the same exact problem. All right. Cut back. So you got fifth place for class clown.
Yes.
So you eventually decided you should maybe perform improv based on it.
About 10 years later, then you're like, all right, let's go try improv.
Yeah. It's the scarring is healed.
My therapist told me to start taking improv classes.
Really?
Yes. I started therapy 2023 during the pandemic sometime.
Okay.
22 or 23.
Interesting, yeah.
And so she's like, I maybe had talked about it in therapy, and she encouraged me, like, I think you should do this. And that's really all I needed was just like, I think you would be good at that. And that's like, all right, let's try it.
Just a gentle, monetized kick.
Yes.
From a therapist.
Just a little insurer-provided kick.
Insurer-provided? Insurance provided it.
Yeah, a little deductible.
Yeah, no, we don't have time to get into the details of that. Okay, that's really interesting.
Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I think that I had some therapy that really turned my life around. So I always recommend that for anyone that needs it, and everyone may need it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It can help you. Not everybody needs it, but you're exactly right. If you need it, it would really help you. I guess that's true of anything.
Yeah.
But
if you need food, it'll help you.
Yes. And there's bad therapists out there. So if you have a bad experience with therapy, it doesn't mean therapy's not right for you. It might mean somebody has to talk to you in a way that you understand. And you have to talk. They have to understand you as well.
Right. Hell yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so let's get back to night one of Troika.
Okay.
The first thing you probably said to me was, "I'm nervous."
Yeah, I probably did. Okay. I always just lay it out there.
Will you tell me about that moment? Okay, so for context again, LT Thornton, who's been on this show, and myself were paired with you. Now, it was supposed to be somebody else, and LT kind of filled in. Mm-hmm. I'm lucky to know LT a little bit. And so I certainly was eager and excited for the opportunity to play, no matter who you were, no matter what the situation was, because I think that's the best part about the Troika competition is that it does give you an opportunity to kind of play with anyone and everyone.
Absolutely.
And that was really cool. So if anyone's thinking about signing up and isn't, you should definitely sign up next year at the Nest Theater.
Do it.
You said, I'm definitely nervous because why?
I feel like anytime I go to perform, there's nerves. I don't know if improv's still a little new to me.
Sure.
Performing it is. I guess taking the classes. Every first class was always nerve-wracking. I thought about why am I nervous? I think it's because I want it to go well. I care about it and I want to do well. And so I think that builds anxiety in you because you really can't control. You can control a lot of factors in improv, but ultimately once it goes, mm-hmm. and it goes how it goes.
Right. Huh. Interesting. I like that. And then I also would say that you probably we've talked about it on the show before. People, I was just speaking with someone last night about the idea of practicing improv. We talked about practicing improv a little before we started recording, about the idea that like I've had plenty of people come up to me and say like, how can you practice improv? Like you're making it up every single time. And then I think someone last night said, well, how do you practice running a marathon? You don't just get up and run a marathon. You practice running beforehand. It's kind of the same thing. Obviously, the difference being is that like marathons, generally speaking, aren't necessarily like going to be filled with like the same variants of stuff you do like in an improv set. All this to say, I feel like practicing improv allows you to add stuff to your tool belt. And one of those things that I wanted to touch base with you on again was your choice in that first improv scene that we ever did together. Mm-hmm. Only done 3 because
we've only done 3.
We were doing mono scenes. They were 3 pretty fantastic scenes. If I'm being biased, which I am, you really, I think you said, "Hey, boss."
Yes.
And you said it in a bit of like a New York or New Jersey accent.
Yes.
And so I wanted to talk to you about that briefly because I love doing that accent.
I feel like it's easy to fall into it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. You're a Columbus boy. I am as well.
I was born and raised here. I was born in Powell.
I'm a Gahanna boy. It's what we are.
Oh, Gahanna. Lovely.
I think it is. I think along with Southern, I guess like maybe little kid and old person, it's an archetype like New York.
Why is it so fun to do?
I don't know. I feel like it's such a part of culture. Right. And it was like Bugs Bunny made fun of mobsters and there was a guy doing that voice. It feels like it's an evergreen comedy character.
Yeah.
In the way that not many things that Bugs Bunny did hold up today.
Yeah.
But him making fun of Bugsy Siegel, that's probably still funny, I guess.
Has anyone ever told you that you look like you could be a character on The Sopranos?
Yes.
Okay.
People think I'm Italian. I'm not Italian.
Yeah, you're not. You told me you're part Lebanese.
Yes, Lebanese and Filipino, and then just white.
Right. Very white.
Eastern European.
Yeah. But like you definitely look like you could have been one of Tony Soprano's right hand men. And I mean that with like the utmost respect.
Thank you. It's a great show.
Yeah. And just like a great like vibe that you kind of brought. And I was like, this guy, it's going to be good. And then you led with, "Hey, boss, what are you doing out here, boss?" And I was like, oh, this is going to be fine. Because I love doing that. I did Guys and Dolls in middle school.
Okay, yeah.
Imagine,
middle school Guys and Dolls.
If you know anything about the musical Guys and Dolls, it is dated. It has a lot to do with misogyny and a lot to do with like the basic story is a guy gets challenged to take any girl to Cuba. Did you know the show?
I think I've listened to the soundtrack weirdly and not seen the show.
Which is fine. The soundtrack aged better than the actual content of the musical. A gambler challenges another gambler to take any girl to Cuba, and if he does, then he'll pay him this money or whatever. And they challenge the guy to take this girl who runs a mission in New York City. So she's very religious, very buttoned up, and the guy basically convinces her to go to Cuba and then gets her drunk. And there's a lot and then, like they call everybody, all the females, dolls. It's a very dated. I'm not sitting here like pining for anyone to watch it. In fact, I rewatched recently out of nostalgia, and I realized all of the holes and terrible like cultural issues with it. All that is to say, I learned how to talk like that in middle school using this phrase. It has always stuck with me. And then we can move on. The rocket shot towards the opposite airlock.
That's a great phrase.
It has a lot of different vowels in it. The rocket shot towards the opposite airlock. And it almost like at this point I'm like, are we doing like a scene in space? Why is that the beginning phrase? But that's what we were taught by somebody in middle school. And so ever since then I like doing this accent.
It's easy to fall into. Like, hey, what are you
gonna do?
You just kind of lower your voice a little, you kind of constrict your throat, and then you just it was funny doing that scene. Like, it was, I won't say it's funny. This is the thing that happened. I don't want to preface it.
That's fine.
After we were done.
Yeah, talk to me more about your feelings because I don't want to, this isn't about me, man.
No, but with the accent.
Yeah.
After we were done, one of the other teams, the guy's like, your scene was great, which was really nice. I complimented him, and he's like, are you from New York? I was like, no. No, it's a character voice.
Yeah.
But I guess we had him fooled that we're all just born and raised New Yorkers.
I don't think I look like I'm from New York, but I think you certainly do. And that goes back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So lean into it, right?
I guess, yeah.
Gosh, yeah. And so we did a couple more performances, and really what like the basics of that was like we didn't have time to get together any other time. And so I got to play with you, and LT got to join in on the fun as well. And I realized that like you're such a natural, like when it comes to this stuff. Is there anything other than obviously being nervous for a show? Is there anything in improv that like throughout your time taking classes or throughout your performances since then, however limited they may be up to this point, that you have had like struggles with, or you don't like, or that you like, even you can even talk about stuff you've seen in an improv scene that you don't enjoy. Is there any like thing that pops to mind?
Things I don't enjoy. Things I don't like to do on stage.
Sure.
It's things I don't feel comfortable yet doing.
Yes, please.
Is scene work, I think, or like it's not space work, like interacting with an object that's not there. I find to be incredibly difficult to do.
Okay.
And I feel like if you do that well, it really bumps up your improv. But it also can then become the focus of what you're doing. Like you can be too into flipping your burger on the grill. And then your scene is just talking about doing the action you're doing instead of what the scene is about. This is just some other kind of fun thing that adds to the illusion of this is a real couple or whatever your scene is about.
Yeah, it provides realism, but object work isn't necessarily supposed to distract.
Yes.
Or even distract you as a performer.
I feel like I get distracted a lot.
Yeah.
Like in your head of like, this is not me fixing a car. I don't know what I'm doing.
Sure.
It's like, well, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Your scene is not about you fixing this car. It should be probably about something else. It can be, or then your scene can be about how bad you are at fixing this car. If your scene work or object work is bad,
right? If you step away from the scene mentally and you're just focused on that, then A, you're not really gifting your scene partner anything if you're stuck in your own head, and B, the scene's supposed to be emotionally like about the people in it, right?
Yeah. It's like it's sprinkles. Like it's fantastic, but you're not just going to eat a can of sprinkles. You need the ice cream, and the ice cream is your emotional center, what these characters are, and they can be doing anything really. It doesn't matter. But I find that is still the toughest thing, is to remember to do that.
Right.
I think it's very easy to say something funny or say something at all. It's this is like a little scene, so you need to pretend like you're doing whatever it is we're doing.
Can I tell you a problem I have?
Yes.
Like even to this day, I've been doing improv for a little while now, and I have such a hard time thinking of that thing to do as the first thing I think of.
Oh yeah.
I think my goal when I enter a scene, and maybe you've noticed this, is to really support. Like the last time we played, we got by the way, we got the most crazy suggestion ever. Do you remember the word that we got?
Oh man, it was.
I can't remember the word, but someone in the audience wanted to be cute and do like, I'm going to give them a really like incredibly.
Was it obsequious or obsequiant?
Abscontiate.
Yes.
So abscontiate, which I literally doubled down and was like, okay, can you define that? Because
I'm so glad you did.
You're clearly being like, you're trying to be funny and give us a word that we don't know. And she's like, it means to leave abruptly. And so we kind of started a scene, and like I don't think either one of us had anything, which happens. By the way, like we can talk about that more. That happens to me a lot. I am like such a like a supporter that like I often will come on stage with nothing. And when it comes to like in the form that we did, where I know it's just gonna be me and you, I really should have come with a little bit more off the top.
I think you got us somewhere. I feel like. That's all that matters. Is
for a second I thought we were screwed, because I was like, that's how we're going to start this. It's really muddled. We were the first people to start the show. I was nervous about that.
Yes. Packed house, like.
Yeah. And a lot of people too. That's got to be the most people you performed in front of.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little anxious about that too. But I think when I get up there, it all kind of goes away when you start doing your thing.
I agree.
Yeah, but going back into object work, did you like my hair cutting? Was it fun?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Somebody pointed out to me that I was getting my haircut in the scene for folks listening.
That's the thing. After we took care of the abscontiate nonsense,
I made reference to it almost immediately.
Yeah, and then you went A to A.
And then so I was like, okay, we said the word. I said the word, and it was, everybody knows. It was already kind of a built-in funny thing, because the word is weird. We asked to explain it.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, it's sitting right there. It's an apple, low-hanging fruit.
Right.
But then once we kind of did the hey,
I said, come over here, let me cut your hair.
Yeah, I was like, oh, beautiful. I was so glad that you had a direction for it, because I was like, hi, what am I supposed to do? What is our scene about?
We had given each other.
I gave you an accent. I did a Southern accent.
You did?
I tried to do a different accent than we did. No accent. We did Italian or
New York,
Mobster, New
yeah,
York.
which I think I even said before the second time we performed, I was like, hey, here's my challenge, no New York tonight. Because I know that we could do it again and it would be
easy.
really funny, but like there's more stuff out there.
Yeah, you don't want to get into a rut when you're performing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I think, well, I don't know if we did no accent. We were very fancy boys the second time.
Yes, we were.
And that was
and
just,
LT came in with he was like British, maybe?
that's just because you let me go with something and you don't stop me in my tracks. I'll just continue to double down on the weirdness. But what were you saying? You were saying we got to haircutting.
We got to haircutting. Oh, and then somebody, they were like, that's great that you just got to sit up there the whole time. And I was like, yeah, it was. He just sat on a stool the whole 12 minutes, really. It's just me sitting down. What easy scene work to do is just sit down and get your hair cut or talk to somebody who's also getting the haircut, but no big act outs. Like it was.
Does that allow you to, what am I trying to ask? Does that allow you to be a better improviser if you're given that gift of like not having to worry about the scene work?
No, I didn't. I've never been given that gift before, and so I didn't think about it until the end.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh yeah, I didn't have to worry about anything because it was so easy. Our dynamic is person getting their haircut and person cutting hair, and so it was. And you've been in 1,000 times that situation, and so it was very easy. I would say not necessarily sitting down, but the dynamic we had made it really easy to do that scene.
Yeah. And yet you continue to surprise me with some of the things that you say and within scene work. And the reason I bring that up is that like I keep saying that you're George, you're a naturally funny person, but like it's not that easy for everybody. Like I know I don't think I had it that easy. Like I came up a certain way. Everyone does. Everyone has a journey, right? What is going, oh man, how do I ask you this very, very simple question? What is going on in your head when you get ready to end? Is there any way that you can break that down, or is it so instinctual that you just kind of like, because I don't know if you have any like tips or any advice for anyone that like literally like is having trouble listening. If I say, like the scenario you just proposed, I'm cutting your hair in a scene and I'm getting ready to shave and I'm kind of cutting around and doing the thing. What made you say, and again, this is just context for the scene, but what made you say, like, how are your friends doing? It came out of nowhere. It got such a great laugh. And my reaction was, like, Jenny, and this goes into something we can also, like, that's really cool, is just, like, my reaction was almost genuine, like, why are you asking that?
So my thought process is...
Please give me your thought process. Give everyone your thought process.
Okay. Some of it is instinctual. Okay. I think if you listen to enough comedy, watch enough comedy, I wouldn't even say do it. If you consume enough of it, there are rhythms to comedy. There's pauses, and then you do the punchline. And you can do that when there is no punchline, and you can try and get a laugh that way.
Okay.
You can... that's really what I feel like I do, is you pause and then you say something, and... If it is something out of left field, then I think kind of elevates it because you've given it space. You got to take up enough space. I think that would be my suggestion to somebody is when you're listening, truly just listen, because it can't be rapid fire, bang, 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 bang. That's what a play they would have that, and that dialogue is not real.
Realistic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Improv can be that way, but I think when you give space, then you build tension. And then you can come in with something. And even if it's not a 10, just because there was a little silence, a little anticipation, you get a little more of a pop than you would normally.
Damn, and that's on the tool belt.
That's on the tool belt is just take your time.
It's one of the biggest tools, I bet.
It took me a long time to learn that.
Okay.
And a lot of it, I started doing it because I didn't have anything to say. And then you kind of learn through, what's that, positive reinforcement? Like, oh yeah, you can just pause and say something strange.
And it works.
Yes. I also thought in that scene, my instinct was to ask you how you are doing. And I was like, that's not a very good question. And then what's a stranger thing to ask?
Yeah.
So it's like, what is if I had a suggestion to people, I guess this isn't a suggestion. I love to play very dumb characters, and I think it's an endless, bottomless pit of how dumb somebody is.
Right.
And that's always where I feel like it always hits when somebody's just dumb on stage. You could be bringing a lot of things to that, how you look, how you act, who you are off stage, but that I've always felt is a very easy way to get a laugh, is just to be so thick.
And that doesn't necessarily mean playing like low status either.
No.
Like you're not being, what's the word? You're not being submissive within a scene. You're not giving over like power to anybody. You're just like acting a fool.
Yeah, you're just weird.
You're just weird.
You're just odd.
Yeah.
And I try not to ask questions. That's always the thing I really don't like to do. But if I do, I will ask a strange question. You ask questions. Well, I guess this is a podcast. This is different. But questions are a natural part of a conversation.
Right.
They're a key component, I would say.
Hey, this is a conversation. This is technically the same thing.
When there's no questions, I mean, people will talk to you, but eventually things die down. And then you have to ask a question.
Yeah, I mean, like if we didn't ask each other questions, we just like stare at each other for the next 9 minutes and 42 seconds.
I mean, I'm up for it.
I mean, here's the thing. I am too, but the problem is that most people will just be listening to this. And so that would be a little something in the biz we call dead air.
Okay, this is my suggestion to people at home. Just pause it and then set a timer for 9 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yep.
And then I'll pause it and it's like we did it.
You could do that thing where like, let's say there's like an ad break. You could like skip to the end and you could see if you placed it right. And what will probably happen is that you'll skip a little too far and you'll miss a little context. So because we're not going to go the whole time. We'll do the next 9 minutes with no words at all unless you laugh. Because if you laugh, then the game's over. We'll do the next 8 minutes and 57 seconds. You have to understand, I'm dealing with a timer. It's going down. It's not necessarily, I don't know why I talk about the timer as if it's like, I'm breaking the wall here. I'm really letting people in on the business.
I think it's a very important part of a podcast is how long do you have left? People, they don't tell you that. Most podcasts, this is the Adam special. Okay. You're going to know exactly through the audio how long until you don't have to listen anymore.
Oh, you know what? That's a really good point. Like maybe I should give like quarterly updates every 15 seconds. Just be like, all right, it's 8:25. We have 8 minutes. So keep going. What were you talking? Something very important was happening.
Just be dumb. I think that's a very fun way to be funny.
Yeah.
Just
own it, maybe.
Yes.
Because I don't know.
Don't wink. Don't be, you can be Bugs Bunny on stage and it's kind of fun, but that also then loses its luster and you got to be in the scene. This person is this dumb in real life. And so how else would they do their dumb things?
Have you heard of the idea of playing to the top of your intelligence?
I have.
Okay. I think it applies to what you're saying in an ironic way, which is that again, this goes back to you're not playing low status. You're not being submissive. You're just being dumb and you're committing to being dumb. And therefore you, in your character in that scene, you are still playing to the top of your intelligence. Your intelligence just isn't very top.
You're using your intelligence to be as dumb as possible.
Right. Yeah.
You're using it to be inane, ask strange questions.
Right.
How are your friends? Nobody asks about people's friends.
Like, That's what friends? I thought about. And it came out of nowhere, and it really set the emotional theme of the entire set in motion.
Yes.
And like you're not planning on that, but like you don't understand what kind of a gift that is when it comes out of left field like that. Because literally, like it gave LT. So yeah, it gave LT a reason to be a friend. It was like, okay, you've introduced this character, and then we introduced a moose on the wall, and obviously he came back as that because he's LT Thornton.
That's the thing is LT will make you look brilliant by some dumb thing you do on stage. He'll then capitalize on it, and then you'll get credit for it. It's like, well, that's just LT magic. That's not.
He's the one doing that. I'm just the guy. I'm the straight man on the stage. I'm not the guy who planned it.
And he's gonna pick it up and do something with it.
My dad used to say this. He'd come to my shows, and he afterwards. My dad's a very smart guy, but he would go like, "You planned that, right? Like you guys, those were sketches. You guys might not have." Like with all sincerity, I'm like, no, I know it looks good, but it's because we sat there and we discovered shit along the way. We didn't invent like the barbershop other than me saying, well, let me cut your hair. It could have been anywhere, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's such a great point though. Play to the top of your intelligence by being as dumb as possible. We are here to have fun, right?
I think, and do it Well, I would
Does
say...
it help you not be nervous to just be like kind of silly like that?
When I play a dumb character, I guess when I'm on stage, because that's apparently that's my move.
Yeah.
It gives you space to think because you're silent.
You can use 3-word sentences.
Yes. And you can think
so
of something
good, yeah.
to say, wait for it, and then say it.
Listen while you're thinking.
Yes.
Which hopefully you can do both. I mean, that's pretty important in a scene with just one other person. And wow, I like that. I've gotten like a little bit inside of your head, George, and that was not like I'm not trying to psych you out, but like I want people to hear your perspective because hopefully if they haven't seen George perform, they'll be performing more, hopefully soon, including in the Troika team Galt, which we won Troika miraculously. I think it must have been by 1 vote if I had to guess.
Yes. I mean, it was, I came in that day and I said, boys, we're not winning.
Yeah, this isn't for us. This is not our night.
No, we ain't winning. But.
And if you had told me we were going to do a scene in a barbershop, I probably would have said, yeah, all right, well, we're not going to win.
No, that's not a very good conduit for scene.
And yet, the power of the mono scene, which we can talk about at another time, like, because I could, if you know me, you know that like I'm all about that version of improv right now. And I don't want to. I'm not going to nerd out about it right now. But
it was a great suggestion. And then that first Troika show was the first mono scene I had ever done.
Yeah, I remember you being like, "Okay, I guess I'll do that."
Like, all right.
And we just said, "We got you." And I think that that's the number one thing too. Is
yes.
Like, did you trust me and LT? And
yes, I'd seen you both perform, and I knew they'll catch me.
Right.
I can do whatever. I can do as much or as little on stage as I feel comfortable doing.
Yep.
And these guys have got me. And you made it very clear that you did.
Yep.
And that made it really easy to perform. Yep. I think what makes me comfortable on stage is knowing the people that I perform with. Jams are great in the beginning, but
improv jams.
Improv jams and stuff like that. But I find I do better on stage when I know the people I'm performing with.
Sure.
That trust has to be there for me. Otherwise, I don't trust you, so I don't know what you're going to do, or you might cut me off, or I might cut you off and I didn't mean to, because if I would have known, hey, you got this, they always build to something,
right?
Then I could have just waited.
Well, I appreciate you taking the leap of faith with me and LT when you did, because I thought you handled it super well, and we did a great job, and we had a lot of fun, and I think anyone that gets a chance to perform with you will probably feel the same way, and I hope they have in the past. A couple more things before we wrap up here.
Sure.
There's a special segment on the show that I'm going to introduce you to in a moment. But if you don't mind, just for me, do you want to do it in a New York accent? And maybe we just roll it into like a something fake and I'll call it.
Sure.
Okay. We don't often do actual improv on the show, but I just love performing with you and playing with you. So the name of this is Bread Talk, okay?
Bread Talk.
All right. So listen. I know we just talked about improv for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But what I want to talk to you, this is really important. George, I mean this.
Okay.
What's your favorite rat hat?
Whoa.
Take your time.
That's a good question.
There's a deadline over here, but I actually paused the clock because that's how important this is.
Oh, all right. I'd have to say I love a pumpernickel.
Oh, see, here's the thing. I'm going to write that down, but is it really your favorite? Or
No, it's the funniest bread.
Okay. See, that's what I want to talk to you about. It's a funny bread to say, but like I feel like it's got a huge depth of flavor.
When I've had it, it's been good, but I don't have it very often.
Okay. For real now, George. I know it's a funny bread, but I have to tell you, someone has already taken that as their favorite bread. And I knew this was going to happen when I invented this bit in the first episode of the show. I knew that someone else would say, pumpernickel bread is a funny fucking bread. I'm just going to say that.
Yes.
But I need you to do me a favor. I need you to look me in the eye. Both eyes.
Okay.
You choose which one is which. Okay? And you need to tell me what's your favorite bread.
I have a question. So I got to choose a bread that somebody hasn't chosen?
It's just, okay, there's a lot of different kinds of breads out there. I'm just asking you to choose your actual freaking favorite.
All right. It's sold at the store next door.
You saw it at the store next door?
I saw it at the store next door.
That's my get in life for this accent too, okay? Good try. Now, be honest with me.
I would say...
You saw it at the door next door. It's almost Boston. I saw it at the door. I saw it at the door next door. All right, so tell me, all right, what's your friggin' favorite bread?
I would say my favorite bread
What's your go-to?
My go-to would be a Dave's Killer 12-grain bread.
Oh, 12 grain.
I think it's 12 or 24. I don't know.
That's so many grains.
It's a lot of grains.
It's almost too many grains.
I love any bread that has just a sleazy guy advertising it.
Now, you know the story with Dave.
He's a convict?
He's an ex-convict.
I feel like he was in jail for aggravated assault or like a serious crime. He's not... It was something serious.
Yeah, I just literally heard this story the other day. I saw it at the store that I work at. Mm-hmm. Not the store next door, but the store over there. Someone came in and said they really like Dave's Killer bread, and they read the story about him being an ex-con. I don't know why he was in the bed, but I know that he turned his life around, and he's got some killer bread.
And he's got a killer haircut.
37 different grains in this bread, I heard.
I heard there's upwards of 104 grains in this bread. It's just a bag of seeds.
Yeah, they say it's bread, but it's way heavier.
It's so heavy.
It's way heavier. Well, just like Dave in his he's a gangster. And guess what? George, you're a gangster too.
Thank you.
You're a very funny fucking guy. You're a natural improviser. And anyone that hasn't seen this guy perform, you gotta come out and see a show. You are in all-in-one improv. I'm switching back now. You are in all-in-one improv show. I know you guys have a show the Saturday following when we record this. This episode probably won't be out by then. But can you tell me a little bit about what All for One is, just in general?
Yes, this is Jean Hester's show. Right. Credit to Jean. She pitched it and I was flattered that she asked me to do it.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It is solo improv. So there's four of us. And it's 6-minute sets. You get up there, you're by yourself, you get a suggestion, and you do whatever you want to do, really. You could do scene work with yourself as multiple characters. Right. I do a thing where I give a fake presentation.
Yeah, you got very meta very quickly, and that's like one of my go-to moves. I saw you perform last time.
Yes, you were nice enough to come.
Oh, hell yeah.
And with all the big kids over there, I was like, all right, this is a real performance, because there's a lot of people I respect.
Hey, I was telling everybody around me, like Hillary Buchanan looked at me and was like, who is this guy? And I was like, you don't know George. You gotta know him. That was dude. Happy to do that. Yes, you kind of faced out to the audience right away, and that's like that's something on the belt for me. Is the including the audience in a bit, especially with solo prof. I mean that was a nice move.
Everybody else is doing something that I feel like if we all did that, it would lose its magic. But they do real scene work with each other, with themselves.
Yeah.
In their 6 minutes, and so I kind of get to break the form a little, address the audience, and then kind of cut in. It's basically, we talked about it at our last rehearsal. It's, what's it when you cut to different scenes? Not a monoscene, it's one.
It's a montage?
It's a solo montage.
Solo montage, yeah.
That's what I do, and we talked about, you could do that. They all do mono scenes with themselves.
With each other, with themselves.
And we go through, everybody gets a suggestion, does their 6 minutes, and then at the very end, you bring a character from your solo set in, and then you do, we have about 20 minutes where we do...
Yeah, you guys do a nice group set together.
Yes, we do, a pretty flower, where it's two people, you tag one out, and then another person comes in, then the person that is there the longest, they get tagged out, and then we do that with our characters, and then we come in at the end and figure it out.
Yeah.
That's all Jean.
That was her idea, and you're executing it.
Yes.
Who else is on that?
Noah and Crystal.
Crystal Lee, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Both very funny people. Funny people that I don't know if you've done it before, but I will just shout out. I know I've seen all the rest of your teammates in the reps that happen here at the Nest. I got to lead a reps with, I think, the Crystal and Noah last year, and it was really great to kind of connect with them then. So it's really cool to see how everyone's like progressing as they go along their little improv journey filled with joy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're all really, really funny people, and it was great to get to know them and then also get to perform with them.
Yeah. And you guys don't practice at all, which is nice. I've actually got to get off the podcast with you because you're going to go meet up with them right now, right?
Yes.
So I will wrap up right now. Another show that George will be in soon will be, again, with me and LT, because we get to do a little show with Galt. And we are looking forward to that. That'll hopefully be coming out soon, so look out for that. You don't have any social media, which is very healthy and awesome, so thank you for making that choice. But you can see George perform here at the Nest Theater. And once again, this has been This Ephemeral Life. Thank you all for listening. If you made it this far, we really appreciate it. Again, you can subscribe to our Instagram. We are at This Ephem Life. So take off the Earl off of Ephemeral Life, This Ephem Life on Instagram. And also, we are part of the Roost Podcast Network here at the Nest Theater. Bunch of other cool shows coming out. Tough Love, Easy Love with Tara DiFrancisco, Thoughts with Bridget and Rochelle, and some other amazing stuff coming down the pipe. Can't wait for you guys to listen to it. Thanks again for listening to us. Be very kind to each other. You remember what I say. You gotta do improv, because if you don't, then you're a sucker. I don't know if that one's gonna stick. Thanks everybody. We love you. Have a great night. Bye.
You're listening to a podcast on the Roost Nest Podcasting Network, executive produced by the Nest Theater and Comedy Arts Center. Co-founded and funded by Rance Rizzuto and Tara DiFrancisco. For more information on the Nest Theater, go to nesttheater.com. Roost Nest Podcasting Network.